So today I'm back here at the intro deck 2025 and the intro gazebo, which is up over the hill over there. So this is basically our second visit here. We came yesterday and did a few little things, but today is our second full day here. So I want to take you guys up and show you. This is a peeling deck paint lockdown encapsulation, remember that, and a deck rescue painting project featuring the world's toughest deck armor, Kong armor. So if we look up underneath of here, the customer here, they had a bad ledge up underneath of here. So if we look, all of this is new. And so we came in, jacked up the steps, pulled that out and replaced it back exactly how it was before. Okay, so repair of this alone saves the customer massively versus having multiple contractors come in here and deal with this. Most people that do deck painting and deck staining would probably run from this Kong. We just come in and do it and swap it out, right? It's no big deal. You've got all of the bad steps that were in here. They're replaced. New lumber with the 316 grade stainless steel, max corrosion resistance to prevent rust to rot, right? Air dried, pressure treated, ready to coat decking lumber from our stash. So multiple steps in here replaced. Ledge underneath replaced. More board replacements. The customer had outside of this, so the step area, outside of the step area, the customer had a 10 plank restoration package to deal with random rotten boards that were found. And as you can see, most of them were back here on this back half. The rhyme or reason for that, not sure. It probably likely has something to do with the shade line of some sort that's causing moisture to hang out longer than it should. Replace all the rotten boards. Air dried, pressure treated, stainless steel. That's what we got, right? These boards in the future are not going to have the rust to rot cycle that these boards have, that have the steel through them, okay? That's the advantage. We start changing the customer's care envelope over time with the lifetime deck armor system, right? It's not going to happen day one, but over time, as we stay with the customer for life, 3-4 years in, right, they might get a bad board. One of these steel fasteners might react and cause them a bad board. That's normal for wood decks. So over time, we can swap one out for them via their service promise. When we do, we come in with that new 316 grade stainless steel fasteners that arrest this, right? So over time, the envelope, the care envelope starts to change, starts to get easier. What you're seeing here right now is you're seeing Caesar come in here with the world's toughest deck post crack filler, silverback epoxy, and he's going around and he's taking care of all the large cracks, the checking, the knots, the voids in this deck. We come in and fill that stuff in first, so that when we encapsulate, we've got this ultra beautiful, drop dead gorgeous, really almost composite synthetic like finish, right? Because there's not a lot of imperfections left. So silverback, it cures up 3 to 5 times harder than concrete. You're talking about 7 to 10,000 psi of resistance needed. So we need 7 to 10,000 psi for these cracks to open back up. They have to give off that much force to bust that. Just far superior to caulk, far superior to any type of tri-polymer, anything like that. Trust us, we've been doing decks for a decade plus now, and there's nothing better than silverback epoxy to fill in deck post checking, you know, voids, knots, any of this type of stuff. The other thing that it does is it aids in what we call true water lock. You know, anymore when guys refinish these, they leave all the cracks and all the voids and all the knots open on them, right? Especially the big, large cracks. They don't even bother to fill them in. Over time, water, contaminants get down in these big cracks like this over here. Let me show you. And what can happen is, after years of that water getting down in that large crack, organisms getting down in there, we get some type of reaction and this post goes bad, right? And then the customer has to pay thousands of dollars to have this replaced because somebody left it open when they refinished it and they shouldn't have. I'm gonna have Caesar fill this one in and show you how we do that. Caesar, hop over here for me for a second and fill this big one in for me. I'll show you how he fills these in here. And we do this on all of our systems. He'll come in. He's going to insert that silverback epoxy in that big large crack there. Remember, we're talking 3 to 5 times harder than concrete. Once this stuff sets up and cures down inside that deck post crack, you can beat on it with a hammer and chisel, whatever. It's not coming out of there. He's going to come and swipe it. Boom, that's ball game. That crack's done for life, right? Very rare for it to reopen. Very super rare. It needs 7 to 10,000 PSI to reopen. Thank you, Caesar, which is super cool. Let me tell you who else is doing this in the deck refinishing industry, right? Nobody. Unless they worked for me previously and they're copying me, they're copying Kong, something like that, nobody, right? Why? Why? See, it's not a big deal. Why isn't anybody else doing it? It takes time. It takes time, right? So it takes effort. It's also expensive. So how much money do you guys think it takes to drive epoxy into all the large cracks of the deck? Huh? Look. Coming down through here, look. How much time? I mean, just look. Look at all of them. They're everywhere. Little crack here. Look. There's 35 posts. Hundreds of areas like that. Hundreds of knots. Look. Look at the knot. Yeah. Knots, voids. Right. Things like that. How much do you think? Here, probably well over 600 bucks just in material, right? And so it's this, oh, I can't spend that because that cuts into my profit margin that you see, right? But here at Kong, I bypass all that because I just tell the customer up front, you're going to pay me well, right? You're going to pay my company well, and I'm going to do a good job for you. And we're going to have a good exchange off, right? So the 600 is built in because they're charged for it, right? I would rather do that. I would rather do that than my company going around and doing this. Where this was previously finished, and whoever refinished it, if it was a professional or a so-called professional, he's a bum, right? Because he left all that open. Right? And he left that open for water to get in there and destroy it, right? What's the point of deck, what we call deck armor, protection, deck resurfacing, deck protection? What's the point of it? Huh? Do you guys know? A lot of you probably think it's like to make my deck pretty. No. The point of it is to waterlock decks and protect them from the elements. And if we're not doing that, there's no point. There's no point. We haven't even begun to talk about the main problem here yet. And look at all the solutions that Kong's already provided before we've even got to the main problem. Right? Peeling deck paint lockdown. That's why this deck here behind me is facing tear down to the frame replacement, because it has peeling deck paint so bad that nobody, you know, it's either sand it all or replace all the boards. That's the main issue here, and that's what you're getting ready to see us address. All this stuff that I showed you in this video, this is just all the benefits and features that come before that, before we even answer the main problem. This structure, we ain't even really got moving on this yet. So this is the intro gazebo 25. Again, I've already went over this. I'll detail this some more once we get started on it. The big thing here is tackling what we're going to deal with this roof system. I'll let you guys know about that as soon as we get started. So same day, right? We just left the intro deck 2025, and now we're over here at one of my existing Kong Armor lifetime deck armor systems here in Burlington, Kentucky. This structure here, rescue from last year, peeling deck paint, lockdown encapsulation, deck rescue painting project that we performed about this time last year. We're here this year to do annual cleaning for the customer, right? If they need any little touch-ups, we're here to do that, right? Keep the deck coating system, the lifetime deck armor system, healthy, so they don't ever have to completely repaint, restain, or refinish their deck again. That's what the system's all about, right? The world's toughest deck armor, lifetime deck armor, right? So this is beautiful mallard. We just call this, I believe we call it mallard or mallard duck. I think actually we just call it mallard, but it's, you guys get the point. It's the mallard deck color, right? And there's only a few people that dig this color. So maybe out of 100 deck customers that system owners that we do business with, maybe 2 or 3 out of 100 will want this color, but they'll be adamant about this color, and that's why we keep it. That's why we keep mallard, is because the people that want mallard, they want it, right? There is no ifs, ands, and buts about it. They want it, right? So we keep it in the lineup. Now, this deck, it's super healthy this year. The coating system is super healthy. As far as it being there, being intact. Now remember, this is only a year old. So this system's only a year old. The coating is still there. Everything's good. Everything's nice. Everything's healthy. Needs just a few little touch-ups. And I'll take you up and go over that with you and show you what that looks like and what touch-ups look like here at Kong, okay? All right, so perfect, right? As you can tell, this customer, lifetime deck armor system owner, she lives a very active life on her deck. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 potted plants up here that probably weigh 200 or 300 pounds, that retain huge amounts of water, right? Rusty metal furniture, all kinds of stuff. In the face of all that, so despite all of that, we still have a coating system here that has survived. Whereas then residential deck paints and stains wouldn't have survived. They would be gone this year. So we would be talking about complete refinishing again. The benefit of industrial elastomer for her is she has a few little nicks and dings. The benefit of Kong is we can just come in, come back, let that dry 10 minutes later, come back, swipe it again, and that will encapsulate itself, what we call regenerate the film, and then the customer is right back to the races. As far as touch-ups like that, this customer has what we call under an hour. So washing, under an hour of touch-ups. The system's there. The system's healthy. The system protected the deck, right? Access that lifetime service promise that Kong delivers to give you the annual cleaning and the touch-ups, and then you just move in. For this customer, they'll be moving into their 3rd year of ownership. For sure, next year, skipping a refinishing cycle and pocketing savings, dividend savings, versus constantly refinishing. You know, Kong, it's such a tough and viable film. I mean, we're talking about old film it's going to be there every year. I mean, outside of somebody dragging something across it and chipping into the wood and chipping into the coating, it's going to be there. It's simply going to need washed, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours of touch up if you have some type of large deck. That's it. So it's huge savings over time. We just got to get the customer into the new way of protecting decks long term, right? If we can get them into it and we can get them to accept that, boy, the benefits of Kong armor are something that just keep and back and back and back and back. Now remember, you gotta take this into perspective. This customer also avoided tear down to the frame replacement last year. So likely here they saved over $20,000 versus composite tear down to the frame, right? Next year, in their third season, they'll save even more, avoiding that refinishing cycle, right? That's the benefits, and we just keep that rolling and rolling and rolling. Tell you what, if you want to learn more about Kong armor, the lifetime deck armor system available here in Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, Southeast Indiana, just visit kongarmor.com. There you can learn all you want about Kong armor. You can also schedule a free quote whenever you're ready. We also have Facebook. That's a big one for us, is Facebook. YouTube's a big one. You guys check out all that stuff. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.